Okay. According to Merriam-Webster Dictionary, the definition of a sport is an athletic activity that requires skill and physical prowess and is often of a competitive nature. I strongly believe that golf is a sport, and I have two reasons to support my claim. My first reason is that golf is one of the hardest sports as it requires more stamina, coordination, and discipline. If you believe a sport requires eye-hand coordination, stamina, intense focus, and a cutthroat sense of competition, then you cannot help but call golf a sport. If it isn't difficult, then why do so many, even the pros, have such a hard time hitting a ball that isn't even moving? There are countless ways of striking a golf ball, even with the pros. The trick is to find the most effective swing and repeat it over and over. This requires tremendous mental discipline. Many say that golf is much more physical than, say, archery or fencing, and you never hear those sports' legitimacy being questioned, ever. Or at least you hear them questioned less often. But still, you don't have to be superbly conditioned to excel at golf, but it helps. But you do have to have a ton of mental discipline. My second reason is that golf is an athletic game. The question brings up the idea of what makes up of an athlete. You used to hear the same sort of drivel about Larry Bird's not being a true athlete when compared to Michael Jordan or Julius Erving. It's true that Bird couldn't sky with Jordan or Irving, but he was probably one of the best basketball players in history. And he also had the court vision that was unequaled, except for maybe Magic Johnson. Though he wasn't particularly fast or high jumping, he had quick hands, feet, and eyes. And of course, he wanted to win the game more than anybody who ever played. There are golfers like that. Vijay Singh had the quiet intensity to go with his remarkable talent. Ernie Els has more pure talent than anyone on tour, maybe with the possible exception of Tiger Woods. Hitting a golf ball straight is a true science and an art. Just because there's more people out there willing to teach you how to do it for a fat fee doesn't make it any easier. Does it mean that golf isn't a sport because it doesn't come naturally to most people? No. It just means that it's a sport that's a little more subtle and complicated, but a lot harder. Thank you, and I'm now open to questions.
Questions for Senator Jalagam? Senator Anna?
Just because golf is hard, it doesn't mean that it is a sport, unlike video games, which is also hard and requires hand-eye coordination. And video games isn't a sport.
Yes, but there's a definition. There's a difference. Golf requires physical activity while video games doesn't.
Senator Jalagam?
You said that video games don't take physical activity, but what about Connect sports? Should we start considering Connect sports as real sports? Because they do require physical activity by moving yourself in front of the camera.
Okay, I agree with that 100%, but Connect sports doesn't have cutthroat competition.
Senator Raturi?
You said that because it's hard, it is a sport and stuff. Well, chess is extremely hard to play, and it's still considered a sport, and there are some physical and technically mental sort of going on. So that's a sport. So yeah.
Exactly. Sports require mental discipline and physical activity. Chess does require physical activity and mental discipline.
More questions? Senator Leda?
Senator, there are professional golfers who smoke and drink while they're playing. How can you consider it a sport if all of this is being done?
Actually, I haven't come across any athlete being drinking and smoking at the same time. Because, for example, Tiger Woods, he's perfectly fit and fine.
Senator Leda?
Senator, how can you consider golf a sport when it does not involve any rigorous physical activity, and even professional golf players don't even carry their own golf equipment and have caddies do it for them?
I agree, but golf involves 17 different muscle groups just by swinging the bat.
Okay, thank you.